Israeli occupation forces launched an operation in the West Bank city of Jenin, killing at least 6 Palestinians and wounding roughly 35 more. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has taken a number of sweeping executive decisions in his first day in office, from withdrawing from the World Health Organization to revoking birthright citizenship for children of illegal immigrants. Welcome to InfoKits. Let's dive in. Six Palestinians have been killed and 35 others were injured during the ongoing Israeli aggression in the occupied West Bank of the city of Jenin. According to the Ministry of Health, 2 people were killed and 35 others with varying wounds were taken to Ibn Sina, Al Amal and Al Shifa hospitals. Palestine's news agency correspondent reported that Israeli warplanes are also taking part in the aggression on the city of Jenin and its camp, as they stormed with a large number of military vehicles at Al Jamila military checkpoint. The same sources explained that the occupation forces are currently besieging a house in Jenin camp. In a post on X, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the military raid in Jenin is another step towards achieving security in the occupied West Bank. Netanyahu also said it was part of Israel's actions to counter the Iranian axis. Netanyahu added they are acting systematically and decisively against the Iranian axis wherever it extends its reach, whether in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, or the West Bank. Israeli far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich has said Israel's ongoing raid in Jenin is designed to change the security situation in the occupied West Bank. In a post on X, Smotrich said the military raid will be an intense and ongoing operation. He also said that it will target terror elements and their enablers in order to protect Israeli settlers and settlements, which he described as a security buffer for Israel. And for more analysis, we're joined from Jenin by Samir Abraha, a political analyst. A very warm welcome, sir, to the program. Mr. Samir, given the recent escalations in Jenin, with the IOF's military operation described as an effort to eradicate terrorism, how do you view this justification, especially considering the civilian toll, sir?
Good evening to you and dear viewers. What's happening in Jenin is directly linked to what's happening in Gaza and what is currently happening in the war waged on Gaza, which led to the exchange deal. These are interlinked subjects. The security matter is also political, and going back to the beginning of the deal, they actually stated what's going to happen in the West Bank. At the 7th of October, Israel were showed as unable to deal with the Palestinian resistance, and they were not able to actually eliminate the Palestinian military existence. What's happening in Gaza, taking into consideration the deal between Netanyahu and Hamas, what happened in 7th of October and what have been imposed on Israel to end the conflict, they adopted a new plan aiming to eliminating the Palestinian population and occupying Gaza and the West Bank. And taking this land under the Israeli authority.
Mr. Samir, the Israeli forces have called their operation Iron Wall. How does this reflect Israel's broader strategy in the occupied West Bank, and what are the implications for Palestinian civilians at this point, sir?
This is what's taking place in the West Bank. The failure of the Israeli forces in Gaza led to this idea, Smotrich and Ben Gvir thinking that they can actually achieve their scheme in the West Bank, and they are pressuring Netanyahu either to continue the war on Gaza and occupy the entire Gaza Strip. After 42 days of the deal, they will take over also the West Bank. Now there is a deal and a truce in Gaza, and the military forces are withdrawing from Gaza. Now they are targeting the West Bank, starting with the Jenin city, intensifying military existence as some conflict and 7 Palestinian young men were killed during these conflicts. It's a political matter related to what's happening after the 7th of October, given that the requirement to have the Palestinian Authority controlling and ruling Gaza, and Netanyahu does not want that. Regarding the West Bank, it is also political regarding the annexation of the West Bank to Israel, and this is a scheme of the Israeli government. The West Bank currently is besieged. There are barriers and iron gates and a lot of aggression and hostilities, so it is very difficult for the Palestinian population to move in the West Bank. This is the Netanyahu scheme to take over the West Bank. His rejection to the deal stemmed from killing the Palestinian cause and restoring it to the table of negotiation. He did not want that. So the international agenda now is tackling this Palestinian cause, and the international community is paying a lot of attention to the peace process in the Middle East to prevail peace. A lot of discussions are taking place, and Netanyahu has no other choice but to choose the peace. This is the international community trend. We have seen this in Europe and in international fora. There are intentions represented in Trump to reintroduce the Palestinian cause and introduce a settlement, a political peaceful settlement. Now they are committing to the ceasefire, and he has no desire to confront Trump or defy him, or to increase the tensions with Egypt as a mediator to this deal. There is also the Israeli population who is pressuring Netanyahu to stop the war and have the exchange of detainees. Now Netanyahu is trying to gain more.
Sir, Jenin governor described the events in Jenin as an invasion of the camp. How do you view this in the context of the calls within the Israeli government for a full annexation of the West Bank?
Yes, this is what I have stated. The annexation of Gaza and the West Bank to the Israeli lands. Now the Israeli forces in Gaza is not as functional as before, so now they are targeting the West Bank. It is the occupation and annexation of the West Bank territories. The city of Jenin is an occupied territory at the moment. And there is a state of the streets are now fully evacuated. The Palestinian citizen cannot move in the streets freely. But of course, there will be implications to these hostilities by the international community, by the United States, because this is a occupied Palestinian territory, and there will be no annexation of the Palestinian recognized lands. The international community now is recognized, is required to stop the bloodshed in the West Bank, as it is a Palestinian territory under Palestinian sovereignty, and there is a Palestinian authority to take control over these lands.
Sir, I can thank you, more and for your, of course, insights, informative knowledge and analysis. Thank you very much for your insights. And now let's move on to the recent updates in the United States after Trump's inauguration.
Donald Trump is his name, and he's there to stay.
As unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
America powerful. We will win, win, win. And we will make America great again. We will very quickly make America great again.
The Guardian has reported that Trump signed a flurry of executive orders on domestic and international politics in the first hours of Trump's presidency, and indicated how U.S. foreign policy would take a sharp and a distinctive turn under the new president's vision of an America's first foreign policy that values U.S. interests above all. Donald Trump announced plans for 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, withdrawal from a climate treaty, and reversed sanctions on Israeli settlers. He also paused foreign aid disbursement and exited the World Health Organization, citing its mishandling of the pandemic. Trump discussed TikTok, Ukraine, and plans to meet Putin. He hinted at an America first foreign policy, delaying tariffs until February. And for more analysis, we are joined from California by Dr. Ashraf Singer, and our international policy expert, our very valuable guest. Thank you very much for joining us here on In Focus, sir. Sir, President Trump has signed a series of significant executive orders on his first day back in office, including ending birthright citizenship. How do you think this move will affect immigration policy in the United States? And what legal challenges could arise from it, as some argued that the move is unconstitutional, sir? And will it be implemented?
It will be implemented till the court, challenge that executive order. In some, what I would say, of course, it's impossible to predict exactly what a Trump executive order will be implemented. After he did sign that huge or massive executive order yesterday, all of them, they have some legally challenges. Why? Because based on the American founding father constitution and the articles, the right of birth, it's granted and was granted to every citizen, born in the U.S. Soil. So that kind of a challenge, or legal challenges, it's expected, and it's already started yesterday. So they already, some citizen already file a case against that is specific executive order relevant to the, citizenship by birth. The argument by Trump, it's valid. I can tell you. Some people, entered, the United States without the legality or without legal steps to enter the country legally. So basically, what Trump, is seeing that some people really acquire citizenship for their kids, but their parents, they were not legal status in the United States.
Dr. Ashraf, Dr. Ashraf, but Donald Trump also referred not only to the illegal citizenships that entered or migrants that entered the United States, but also to those that gave birth with temporary visas.
This could be a challenge by the court. Because if you are here in the United States, either temporary visa or short term, if you have a baby or have a kid here in the United States, so this is the U.S. citizen, no doubt about it. And I'm sure the court will really revoke the Trump and executive order.
Exactly, sir. It's not applicable anymore. If I have a baby that I gave birth to with a temporary visa, then this baby is granted the American citizenship or the U.S. citizenship.
By nature, by that definition, if your baby born here in the United States, it doesn't matter. If you are in a temporary visa or even, as an illegal, immigrant, as long as you have a baby here, this is what the Constitution, said clearly, to give or to grant, the baby the U.S. citizenship. It seems to me it's a pretty harsh step by Donald Trump, and it will require, more explanation by legal scholars in that matter. But based on my understanding, I'm sure the court gonna to revoke this executive order.
Hopefully, sir. Sir, one of Trump's key actions was withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization. What are the potential global consequences of this decision, especially for international health cooperation in the future, sir?
This is a very crucial step by Trump, because Trump, since yesterday when he did sign this number of executive order against friends and enemies. So this is what I'm saying. What I would say completely. He just before his inauguration. He did, declare message or send message to Canada to be like a 51 state of the U.S. He sent
Panama,
message
Greenland.
And he's still repeating, Panama Canal, that he doesn't need to restore Panama Canal. And he said yesterday something really made many people laughing yesterday, when he said, when he asked, to change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. It's not big a deal. It's not big, to change the name. So this is why Hillary Clinton, was really laughing, as a craziest, like a craziest circle. So it seems to me like Trump, he is making an earthquake in his foreign policy, in his domestic policy. So this is about what we call it the testing of war, where the institutions, the check and balance can really work effectively with Trump. Trump time, I think it will be a very rich environment for the studying, for the scholars from different fields in social science, like physical science and legal science, or law science. So this is what I'm seeing, in future, how to check, or how to manage the operation, or how to operate, the check and balance, theme in the United States, like executive branch, judicial branch, and the Congress or legislation branch. It seems to me it's very, very interesting time for Trump.
Yes, sir. True. It's going to be a very interesting 4 years. Sir, the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement, another, of course, major action which was taken by President Donald Trump. How do you assess the global impact of the United States exiting this climate accord? Exiting, sir, this climate accord, especially considering the ongoing climate changes and the recent California wildfires, of course, sir?
This is a great point too, because this can really complete, the previous point about the health organization. So with the withdrawal of the United States from health organization, withdrawal from the climate, agreement or Paris Accord, this is really disaster between between the United States and Europe. So Europe now is very, very angry. That action by Trump really annoyed them.
Sir, Europe is angry because Trump is out of the climate change agreement?
Yeah, of course. The point for Trump, we need to really think about that phrase, free rider dilemma. So Trump, claimed that United States is taking care of paying for the security goods or security or defense agreement like NATO. Our United States is taking care of some of the cost that United States only paying for the health organization or climate change. That he said yesterday that United States paid about $1 trillion. What Trump is really saying clearly that there is no really equality between the United States and Europe in terms of taking care of that cost or that burden over time. This is a good point.
Of course, sir, it's a good point. Go on, sir. Go on.
Yeah. So basically, Trump doesn't like to see United States as only a country bear that kind of burden or that cost of health organization, of the NATO obligations, of the climate, change obligation. He said yesterday that the United States by itself paid $1 trillion. So was like, wow, this is a big amount. This is a big amount of money. But Europe really was enjoying to be a free rider on the U.S. and Europe really does like to keep that kind of, that situation over time. But Trump, as a businessman, in terms of his thinking, he believed that United States shouldn't really take care of that kind of security goods or climate, changes, or because what he said also that China is out of that kind of agreement, and China by itself it's producing mass production that is really hurt the environment. So why United States should really control itself, and China is moving very fast or racing, that point, or taking care of the. It is GDP, not United States now. It's beyond or behind China for future. China now it's about like 18 or 20 trillion. United States 27.
Dr.
trillion,
Ashraf, of course, I wanted to grab this amazing opportunity that you're with us on air now to ask you more and more questions. And I had more questions, plenty of questions for you. But unfortunately, I have to wrap up the program now. That was Dr. Ashraf Singer, international policy expert. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable and informative insights and intellectual knowledge. That brings us to the end of today's episode of In Focus. Thank you very much for joining us, and stay tuned for more stories here on Qnews. Don't go away.